So let's have a look at a more complicated program. And here's one that I wrote earlier. And load it up. This is going to be a number magic trick program. Now what it does is allows the user to enter a number, and that number is going to have some mathematical operations performed on it. Now the trick is that no matter what number the user enters, we always end up with an answer of 2. That's the magic bit. So I'll just talk you through the program to start with. At the top, I've used triple quotes to give the name of the program and the current version. Now that's quite important because as we go on and we improve this program, we might want to make some changes and we want to know how many times we've changed it. So the version number is quite important. On the next line, I've declared 2 variables. Now these are going to be numbers. So we're going to use an integer to store the numbers. That is a whole number. And you'll notice at the end of the line, I've also added a comment. Now I do that using a hash symbol, and you'll see that idle has changed the text after that to red, and that means that it won't actually be executed. It's useful for another human reading this program to know that I've added a comment here. It makes your code more readable. When somebody needs to improve it or change it, they can see the way that you were thinking. They know what that line actually does. I've declared another variable. This one's called your number. So I've got a my number, which is the number that the computer's going to be storing, and your number, which is the one that I'm going to read in. So we then ask the user to enter a number. That's what this statement does here. Now, as far as the program is concerned, it's going to be expecting text to be entered. So we have to tell it to change whatever's gone in into an integer because we want to do some maths with it. So that's quite important. So please enter a whole number. So the user's going to enter a number. This next line down sets a value for my number of 0, and that's a starting value. It's quite important that we do that. So here's the maths part, here's the magic. So first of all, we're going to store the value that the user has entered in the my number variable. Then we're going to perform various mathematical operations with it. We're going to multiply it by 3. We're going to add 6. We're going to divide it by 3. And finally, we're going to subtract the number that they first entered. When you do that, we'll run the program. You'll see that you always get the answer 2. So let's run it and see if it works. So run module. And it's asking me for a whole number, so I'm going to enter in the number 7. Okay, so we just enter that, and the program's run, and you'll see that it gives an answer of 2. Now, it doesn't matter what number you enter, and I can run that again and show you, but you'll always end up with the number 2. And there's a reason for that. Once the mathematical operations are performed, you add the number in that the user has entered and then you subtract it. So you'll always end up with the same number as the result. So we can run that again and we'll end up with the same result. So this time I'm going to put in the number 8, enter it, and again you still end up with 2. So that's the magic. This is sequential code. Work through the algorithm on a piece of paper or try and do it in your head.